Alright, folks, so yeah. Halloween Ends, which is the 2022 horror film. Pretty much the last of this new trilogy of movies. Um, I know a lot of people so far are very split on it, such as it pulled The Last Jedi in a way. Where it had fans. We like it over, we love it, we hate it. We love it, we hate it. Where do I stand? I don't love it. I don't hate it either. This one's a mixed bag because there's ideas that I like, but it was sort of already done in a way. A little snippet of it was done already in Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 4. Halloween 4 Return Michael Myers. Such as the ending with Jamie, like character. Like we had where evil was passed on to another person and possessed. So for people talking about it's a game changer and it's doing something different, not really, because it was done semi at the ending, semi done. That's even a word. Um, but yeah, I mean the whole premise basically it follows, the events of Halloween Kills, such as it skips 4 years after. Pretty much what happened was the town of Haddonfield got crazy for Myers, went on a rampage for him, beat him down, but then he killed most of them. A lot of the citizens. Some people that encountered him survived. And I'm like, how and what? Like, there's a character in Hills that should have died because how stupid she was, but yet, granted, she's in this, but she don't have no speaking lines, and she's only on screen for like 2 seconds, maybe 5. Um, but yeah, like pretty much, you have Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. You have the chick that played her granddaughter, Andy something. There's Allison, which I don't care for this whole love story between her and Cory. I don't. I don't buy it because, like, the very first sight of this guy, she's already thirsty for him. And it's like, you don't even know him. Granted, like, he's a nice looking guy, like, not to be funny, but, like, he's, you know. But the fact that, like, she just, like, literally, like, he comes in the hospital and she just automatically looks over at him and they connect. I'm like, love at first sight, I guess. Okay. Troy and Gabriella didn't even. That didn't happen. It seemed like that fast in that film. Whatever. Um. Also, his character, Cory's character. We follow. Also, spoilers for this. We follow his character mostly in this film, with bits of Michael. Very little, but he's there. But he's. I like the idea that this town. He's been gone for 4 years, so they took the Rob Zombie route. He's been gone for 4 years. Nobody's seen him, but people are still in hysteria and wanting to blame somebody, so they blame Laurie for provoking him. Well, even though I'm like, she was not. What? So I didn't understand. I didn't like that. How people blame her. I get it. It's Michael's still alive, and the chick that survived him and we thought beat him, she's still alive and living her life. We don't like that, so I get the idea of the town in a way resents her as well for, you know, but I thought they handled Cory's, you know, dilemma more better than Laurie's, because it shows how, granted, people still they blame her a little bit as well, but he killed a kid. Well, his dilemma is that he killed a kid babysitting, which is the first scene that we get in this film, is the prologue in a way of him babysitting this bratty kid who seems like a nice kid at first, but then he turns into a brat. Granted, he didn't deserve to die just because he's a nuisance. But still, like, the whole... I like the fact that he's... The town, you know, is very cautious of him, very... They don't like him because they think he killed this kid on purpose, and they don't believe the fact that he didn't mean to do it, which he didn't. The kid locked him in the attic or whatever, and the kid was stupid. He just stood at the door of the attic so the guy can kick the door in and then knock the kid over the spiral steps. I'm like, whoa, killed a kid on 10 minutes in, all right. Or 15 minutes in, whatever. But yeah, so it does show, like, people don't like Cory. They call him names and joke about him, and, you know. So I did like that aspect of it. I like the dual... I sort of like the... This whole thing is Michael Myers... People talk about he's not really in it. He's not, but he is. Just not as much as people would want him to be, I guess. If I word it that right. Such as, we don't see Michael Myers till, like, probably an hour in. I want to say an hour in. But, because he hangs out in the sewers. Where the chuds are. Or he hangs out in the tunnels. I guess he's been staying there for all those years, I assume. But yeah, the Cory character, he gets bullied by these local senior high school kids. They push him over a bridge railing thing. They think he's dead. But I love how he did himself or whatever. They drive off. Oh, there's one girl of the group, Margot, who I guess we're supposed to sympathize. She's supposed to be the most sympathetic of the group. I didn't care about her because she continues to go along with this ragtag group of, mean folks. So no, I didn't care about her. I don't care if she. Oh, why'd you do that? So and so, and we don't need to do this to him. I love how people do that in these movies. We're supposed to still somewhat sympathize with these characters, even though granted, they're not doing the action, but they're just as bad as the person doing the action when you're just standing there watching it. But then you'll preach about, oh, don't do that. But then, So I was glad when her character was demised. Because all those seniors, they get disposed of. Pretty cool. As well. But also, don't go into this thinking it's a bunch of kills, because it's not. It's more slow burn. It's more, I want to say psychological, but then it's not as psychological good as it could have been. I would have liked more of the struggle between Michael, because turns out, I guess he's able to possess people when they look into his eyes or something, so he has a genjutsu type thing. So I guess he does like this thing where you look into the evil of the eyes, and he's able to possess Cory, but then Cory's still normal when he's away from him, or something. I didn't understand the mechanics, so I wish they would have fleshed that out a bit more. Again, that was done at the very end of Halloween 4. But people want to talk about, oh, this is a game changer of the franchise, and it's never been done before, I guess, and this is the first in the series. I'm like, no, it's not. But I get it. It's supposed to, you don't count the other films, but I don't like how people just discount stuff that happened or just ideas that were in the other films. Even the ending, I thought it was fine. Even the way Cory goes out, where he's like, if I can't have Allison, nobody can. And he stabs himself with the knife and kills himself. But then he tries to struggle with Michael grabbing the mask at a few for a few minutes. I'm like, what? You're dead. And then Michael just snaps his neck, and it's done. Yeah, the struggle between, I would have liked more of a question of, and a conflict, an inner conflict of, you know, Cory's character of, he's doing these horrible things, is he really enjoying it, or can he help him, can he even help himself to not do it, or do it? Because it seems like he can help himself, because he kills the Allison's boss and the chicka he's banging, the co-worker he's banging, intern or whatever. So, but then he's even clumsy when he does that. Like he gets his hand stuck in the door, and you know. But he does try to pretend. This also takes elements of Friday the 13th Part 5 in a way as well, where he had a character, Tommy, where granted he was the survivor, but he, we're led to believe maybe he'll become the next Jason. And that was way more, I think that was done a bit better, because at least, more likable characters and sensible people. Well, not, I would say likable characters anyway. And the idea was done a bit better to me. But yeah, this one, again, with the whole, he's possessing people, and then I understand the ending. What about Laurie, where doesn't she have flashbacks of the other movie, of the first movie, the 1978 movie, or 79? I believe it's 78. Classic. Because Cory has flashbacks of his dilemma when Michael chokes him and stares into his eyes lovingly. The same thing happens with Laurie at the end. I'm like, is she possessed now? Because then she has the mask of Michael at the end on the table. I'm like, why are you keeping that? Shouldn't you? Why didn't you put that in the meat grinder or whatever? Because they end up shredding. They pull a shredder. Whoops. Thing where they decide to actually, destroy all parts of Michael, but the mask. We gotta keep the mask. Why? You're trying to get rid of anything of Michael, but you want to keep the mask. I don't understand that. You know he's dead. You know he can't come back at all because of what you did to him. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's trying to say, oh, she has victory. She's showing no fear, and she has victory of she won. He can't come back, and she has the trophy to prove it, the evidence to prove it. I'm like, but other people would know that you did it, so it's not like it's just you and Allison that did this. The whole a lot of town folk of Haddonfield apparently came to this gathering, and then that even reminded me of Candyman, where they, at the end of that movie, where they think they're killing Candyman when they burned him in that contraption junk thing, and they all surround it and watch it burn. I mean, granted, here at least Michael actually dies, but again, like the whole possession thing, you do that, but then you pull that possession thing of, it seems like, so I guess Laurie's not possessed, because then she cuts Michael's wrist and then holds his hands. And even Allison, and it pans to Allison's face expression, and she's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you holding his hand? So I thought that was funny. Because I'm like, yeah, why are you doing that? I'm like, is this, and then I was like, is this a nod to Part 4, where Jamie held Michael's hand, and that's what transferred the evil to her? I guess, maybe maybe I'm reaching here, but I don't know. But overall, and even the way the movie's shot is fine. I think it had 4 writers, I believe, or 5 writers. I'm like, why? Because I get they wanted to go off stuff that went off in kills, but then with the pandemic and all, and then they scrambled for new ideas and reshoots, I guess, or something, and that's why I hear. So I don't know. So again, there's stuff I like in it. Small stuff, but overall, I would say, um, but overall, I would say, it wasn't a waste of time. Do I recommend it? Yeah, because I think if you're open to a whole lot not of Michael in it, and they're trying something somewhat, it's not different because it's different in terms of how this version of the possession thing goes, where I don't know. Anyway, I think I do recommend it though, despite my uh, cons with it, which is a lot of the major story and some of the character decisions, such as Allison being stupid. Granted, you don't know this guy, so maybe and he doesn't even tell her what happened to in his past. If trying to date him, or she's trying to date, or he's trying to date her. Is what I mean. I think he should have told her up front. But, and then even the stuff with his mom was a bit off and very because there's a scene where she slaps him at one. She seems very very overbearing and very possessive over him, and almost like a lover's way in a way. She gets jealous of him being with other girls, and I'm like, what the? And you have I guess he has a stepdad who seems like the most decent character of the side from what's the name? The old sheriff character, Laurie. I liked their scenes. Um, but yeah, there's a scene where she slaps this Cory, and then his mom literally kisses him on the lips, and then walks away. I'm like, what was that? And then the stepdad is just like, I hope you find love or whatever. I'm like, what? WTF? Oh, this movie. This movie. It's not one of the worst of the franchise. That will go to Curse of Michael Myers. That holds the title of worst in the franchise to me. I know there's some fans that actually like it. That's cool. Um, I like. I don't mind the first one. I thought it was okay. It's a bit overrated. I love the second one. The third one, I'm not counting because it's not really a Halloween film. You know, I love 4. 5 actually don't hate. I know a lot of people hate it. I grew up on that one, so some call it nostalgia, whatever. I don't call it that. I just call it because I like the film. Cause there's things I like in it as well, but also some stuff I don't like in it as well. Uh, but overall, and 6 again I hate. 7, which is Resurrection, I never hated it. That was fine. That's a okay watch. I can watch it. I think if you cut out the prologue, with Laurie in it, or no, that wasn't 7. H2O, and then Resurrection. H2O, I would have to watch again. I remember not minding it. It was okay. I know a lot of people seem that's one of the best in the franchise. And agree to disagree. Um, but yeah, Resurrection is whatever. I like Buster Rhymes. It's pretty funny, pretty entertaining. I love how he talks to Michael Myers, and then Michael doesn't do anything to him. He just literally turns around and walks off. Then we have the Rob Zombie films. There's elements I like in his remake. I wish it would have went in a different. He should have just made it his own instead of a carbon copy later on. And in the second film, he should have did what he did in the second film with the first film, where he made it his own. Granted, a lot of people don't like that, but I don't like the fact that Michael talks, or doesn't barely wear his mask in that. Really, there shouldn't even been a part of Rob Zombie 2, because the way that first the remake ends, Laurie shoots him in the freaking head, point blank. And you see it because blood splashes on her face, so it's not like, oh, she missed or she didn't hit the critical spot. She did. She did. But yeah. Overall, I recommend this one for sure. Granted, even though I have mixed opinions on, well, not opinions, but mixed feelings on it, mixed views. But I do recommend it for sure.